Florida, the Smart Ride announces historic Florida LGBTQ plus Ideas Festival to find new solutions for the queer community. Today, the Smart Ride, the iconic nonprofit event that has raised millions for LGBTQ plus health services for the last 19 years. Smart Ride is the two-day, 165-mile ride from Miami to Key West, with principally benefiting HIV/AIDS services. The LGBTQ community faces many challenges in the LGBTQ storyline, and today the Smart Ride had announced an innovative event designed to help propel the LGBTQ plus community and create a think tank for creative new solutions to our community's growing list of problems. Smart Ride's executive director and Wilton Manor's Bona Italian Grill owner, Glenn Weinzimmer, announced today Smart Ride's Florida LGBTQ Ideas Festival. The program will be held on Saturday, October 8th at the Sunshine Performing Arts Center and will bring together a diverse group of nonprofit organizations and community leaders in business, politics, health, and more. They come together to create a live think tank to discuss the issues and will address the needs for people of color, the trans community, youth attacks, and Don't Say Gay, as well as much more. The community will be able to participate and contribute in the conversation for new ideas and solutions. Hotspots Happening Out Television Network will be sponsors and broadcast the entire event live. The Ideas Festival is promoted as a think tank, generating the best new ideas for the LGBTQ plus community, and $15 million is in reach. Smart Ride 19 is here. So, here to talk about the first ever LGBTQ plus Ideas Festival is Smart Ride's Glenn Weinzimmer. And Glenn, I'm already disappointed you didn't bring any garlic rolls. I mean, they're the bomb, I'm hungry, and we're talking about food.
We told you can't go anywhere without garlic rolls.
The night is not over, and you're just down the street.
$15 million, and we go to the food.
We're hungry, angry.
Glenn, we're really happy that you're here with us at Queer News tonight for this special broadcast here in Wilton Manors. Your restaurant's here, home right here on Wilton Drive. Tonight, the Meet the Candidates town hall debate was a donation opportunity for Smart Ride. Tell us a little bit about what we're getting ready to do for Smart Ride in November.
The Smart Ride is going to happen November 18th and 19th this year. We've raised $13.9 million in the last 18 years. And like you said, Al, reaching $15 million this year should be so easy to do. We raised $1.2 million last year. My goal is even higher for this year, so we could surpass the $15 million. But it's really important to me that our community comes out and comes together. We've got issues that are affecting all of us, and it all comes back down to HIV and AIDS. It comes down to what's happening here in Florida right now with the Don't Say Gay bill, with the anti-trans bill. These affect all of us. And so, if you're on Smart Ride and you're worried about HIV and AIDS, if kids are not being taught properly in schools, if they're not given sex education, if they don't have a safe space, if their GSAs are no longer on campus, that creates all kinds of mental health issues. It creates depression. Our suicide rate could potentially go up, and people will tend to play more, not being educated, and potentially get HIV and AIDS in already heavily hit communities that are disproportionately affected, whether it be the Latin American community, the Black community. It travels throughout, and it affects our trans community as well. So this new festival that we're putting on, I think, is a great chance for us to collaborate, bring the 6 agencies that benefit from Smart Ride together, talk about how they work together and how it all intertwines with each other. And so I'm very excited about that. And I'm also excited that WIMBA tonight, it's partly hosting this, has made the entry a donation towards Smart Ride and towards our efforts. So we're extremely appreciative of that.
Glenn, I have to say, let's focus on this concept. 19 years, this will be the 19th edition. Nearly, when you finish in November, hopefully things go like planned, over $15 million raised. I barely get that out of my mouth in terms of the dramatic effect that Smart Ride has had on the LGBTQ community. The only ride of its kind, the only kind of event of its kind like it, where 100% of all of the money is donated to services, which is just incredible. You take this a step farther, starting the 19th year, given all of the things that we're watching in the news and is happening in community, to say, we need to focus on other things just than the fundraising efforts and creating new ideas, and therefore come up with the Ideas Festival. Tell us a little bit about this. October 8th at the Sunshine Performing Arts Center, bringing your recipients and leaders in the community together, the general public, to brainstorm ideas for all kinds of problems. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, fundraising has always been important, but to me, it's been just as important since year one that we educate, we raise awareness. So it's always been a part of what we do. You know, even when we do the event itself, the money is great, but safety is our number one concern. I don't care how much money we raise if we don't produce a safe event. And to that point of us doing this festival, we're getting an opportunity to bring 6 agencies that are so diverse in what they do. You've got an organization like Miracle of Love in Orlando that is pretty much a minority-based, run by a black man that can talk about his experience and what it's like growing up as a black man in a community that's not accepting and how that affects HIV and AIDS. You've got the opposite of that in Key West, where you've got AIDS Help, or AH of Monroe is what they're called now. They're basically a place where white men went to die, and they didn't die. And so now they deal with housing issues, they deal with elderly care issues, completely different than what Miracle of Love is doing. Miracle of Love is worried about people being being considered less than, being stigmatized. And then you go to each one of our agencies, they all have a niche, whether it be Compass that does a lot with trans and making an effort to bring in youth and educate them and bringing up the next set of leaders. You know, here in Broward County, we've got a Broward House, and they're an organization that deals not just with housing, but they deal with substance abuse as well, and people coming out of incarceration and reintroducing them back into our community, and the youth that are being left behind, because we take it for granted here in Wilton Manors or in South Florida, or that, you know, we can walk around and hold hands. That is not normal around the rest of this country. We as people who live in this community, especially our youth, have to understand that this is not the norm. If you're in the Midwest, if you're in Billings, Montana, you can still get tied to a fence and be beaten to death. We ignore those facts because we live in a world where, in a community where we can be who we are. We can be our authentic selves. That's not true for the rest of our state. That's not true for the rest of our nation. And we know worldwide that's an issue. So it all comes together. You know, we talked a little bit the other day, Al, you and I, about the spokes of a wheel. You take a bicycle and all the spokes that lead out from the center, they all lead out and break into all the little things that are affected. And we're all affected by something that happens. You know, it's, if you choose to turn your back and you don't get hit by a bus, or you choose to walk forwards because someone calls your name, everything changes in a second. We saw over the last 5 years what happened when Trump took office. You know, everything affects all of us. And for someone to say, that doesn't affect me, it does affect you.
Well, the festival, the Ideas Festival, is Saturday, October 8th.
Yes.
The ride is in November. Tell everyone that wants to get involved in the ride and contributing, where do they go? How do they get more information?
Well, and tell people that they don't have to ride, because that was
Sure.
also my thing. When I first heard about the Smart Ride, I was like, I want to help, but I have no ass, so I cannot be on a bike for 2 days. There are other ways to help. You don't have to be on a bike from Miami to Key West,
Fay,
correct, Glenn?
Yes, Faye, I'm glutamously challenged as well. And I rode my bike when I turned 50, so you don't have to have big back end to ride. But we have 750 people that participate. 250 of them, 250 out of the 700 people are volunteers. They drive trucks, they hand out water, they give someone a hug if they need it, they carry their luggage, they feed them all their meals. So there's other ways to participate besides getting on your bike and riding 165 miles from Miami to Key West. The best way to get more information about both our upcoming festival, about our upcoming pool party, and about Smart Ride itself would be to go to thesmartride.org. And you must put in thesmartride.org, or you get a bus company in Ohio. So it's
So not
The
DA,
Smart
not
Ride.
DA, right? THE.
Right, not my New York Bronx DA. It's THE, thesmartride.org. And from there, you can click on the links that will take you to register.
You're going to hear much, much more about this very interesting new festival, Smart Rides LGBTQ Ideas Festival, a think tank for addressing so many of the problems facing our community. Glenn Weinsheimer, Weinzimmer, thank you very much for being with us tonight at Queer News Tonight.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.